Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Good News and Interviews with Forrest Lee. It's Monday, July the 26th. You can join us live on Facebook. If you can search capital T, capital C 2 and hit Good News, and you can pick up tonight's show and any other show that we've already broadcasted here on Troy Cable 2. You also can go to YouTube and type in Troy Cable Productions, and you can find the show in that particular fashion as well. I would like to thank last week's guest, Mr. Lawrence Bowden of the Brundage Historical Society, and Johnny Jones, the voice of the Luverne Tigers. Next week we have Ashley Lewis, who's the owner of AKL Used Cars located between banks. The distinguished young women recipients, Miss Dee Allen, Abby K. Terry, and Kathy Stockstill, we're hoping to work that schedule out where they could be on the show next week. This week we have Miss Casey Moore, the principal of Brantley High School, and Mr. John Kennedy. He's the principal owner of a new venue in Brundage, Alabama called the Kennedy Lodging and Events Venue. He also is co-owner, or is the primary owner of Brundage Building LLC, along with his wife Vicki and his son Jake Kennedy. A couple things we'd like to mention first. There's a benefit concert for Michael John Meads, Saturday, July the 31st at 7 o'clock, featuring the Johnny Barron Band and the Waterfall Band. That will be at Clemens Barnes, located in Brundage, Alabama. You can go to Facebook and click on or search Michael John Meads Benefit, and you can find it there as well. A couple of other things I'd like to do at this time. If we can show last week's, the young ladies that we had, well, there's Kathy Stockstill. If you can show those, Nate, there's Abby K. Terry. Abby K. was the first runner-up at the Distinguished Young Women's program this past Saturday. Abby K. Terry, congratulations. And the Kathy Stockstill was the second runner-up. They're all upcoming seniors at Pike Liberal Arts. And the program's winner was Miss Dee Allen. Dee will be an upcoming senior at Pike Liberal Arts. Congratulations to those girls for the pageant that was held this past weekend on the campus of Troy University. At this time, I'd like to recognize our sponsors. First of all, Troy Bank and Trust Company. They have 14 locations. Also would like to thank Dawn and Derek Broadway of Troy Paint and Body. Chimney Hot Sauces. Take the Leap. You can go to www.chimneysauce.com and order you some hot sauce for your upcoming barbecue events that you have. Would like to thank Pike Farmers Co-op. They have 2 locations, one in Goshen, one in Troy. The Alabama Army National Guard, they're located on George Wallace Drive, right across from Memorial Stadium. That's a great career. It's a way to serve your country, and it has wonderful benefits. Would like to thank Jason Gregory, a premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Troy, Alabama. And of course, Golden Boy, located on the Henderson Highway. They can several major brands of peanut butter, and it's a great place to work as well. I'd like to thank Pond Stalker 2, Jim and Jet for their sponsorship. Campbell's Produce, located on US 231 South, just past Sisters. Kelly Tires. I went to see Rex this morning, put some tubes in my lawnmower tires. They were kind of having a slow leak, so we fixed it and put tubes in them. Southern Grill and Patio. Go see the Hartley brothers, Chase and Daniel. They're located on 600 North 39th Street. They have all kind of grills for sale. They have spices and all kind of things for your outdoor cooking needs. They're also located in the same building as Town and Country Flooring. the Old Barn Restaurant in Goshen, Alabama, one of my favorite places to eat. I'd like to thank Chip and Cott Wallace of Wallace Pump and Supply. Go see them for all your water needs or water heaters and sinks and things of that nature. Mr. Shear Qualls of Douglas Brothers, located on the square. I'd like to thank them. Mr. Joe Watson of Bird's Drugs and all the Daily Girls. Whaley Pecans and the Whaley family, thank you for being a sponsor, as well as my daughter, Abby Lee Photography. You can go to abbyleephotography.co and put a questionnaire there, and she'll answer you. And, also, Lenny Trawick. Lenny plays a lot of times at the Barn Restaurant in Goshen, Alabama. He's located on the square, and he gives guitar lessons in the venue of Flat Tops and Fiddles, which is owned by Mr. Donald Brown. That's also located on the square. I'd like to thank Home Gallery for their sponsorship, located on Love Street, the Brundage Country Club. Sticky Frogs, located in the same area as the Half Shell. See Jennifer for all your sticker needs, signs, and T-shirts. State Farm, Bryant Smith, located on South Brundage Street. Want to thank them. Piggly Wiggly, Steve and Jennifer Garrett. The Chicken Shack of Luverne, probably my favorite place to eat. Flowers Realty, Billy Ann and Kevin Flowers. Put flowers in your yard if you have any need to sell your home or if you need to sell your property. The Old Barn Restaurant, we've already mentioned that. Signature Hair Designs, Miss Shirley Ellis and her staff, Casey. Go see Shirley and them on South Brundage Street. And Jackson Hardware, Mr. Brian McDaniels, located on Main Street in Brundage, Alabama. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with our first guest, Mrs. Casey Moore of Brantley High School. She's the new principal, and we'll be back after these messages.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Attention! Attention! PremierTroy.com. We want your trade. We'll buy your car. Whether you purchase a vehicle from us or not, pre-owned car values are at an all-time high. Trade your car for cash or a newer vehicle. It's your choice. Premier wants your car. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody!
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Where should you go to find the best deals on a vehicle? Anywhere, anytime? PremierTroy.com. Shop our huge selection. PremierTroy.com. Pick your next vehicle. Pick your payment. Yes. Shop, save, and buy. PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Brundage Building Supply and Paint Center at Jackson Hardware. 120 years and counting of real customer service with a smile and a heartfelt thank you for visiting with us. PPE, lumber, paint, building supply and roofing, guns, ammunition, American-made items, and oh, by the way, hardware.
Are you ready?
Starting August 20th.
Welcome back to our show, Good News and Interviews with Forrest Lee. Tonight, we'd like to welcome Mrs. Casey Moore the principal of Brantley High School. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And it's a very exciting time for the Moore family. Your husband has just been recently named the athletic director and head football coach at Goshen High School. So that's, I think green and purple go well together. But anyway, we want to welcome you to the show.
Well, thank you.
Mrs. Moore, where your hometown and high school, if you'll tell the
I'm
audience a
from
little
here
bit
in
about
Troy,
yourself.
and I attended Pike Liberal Arts School right here in Troy, Alabama.
Okay, and your parents, let's go ahead and talk about our parents and grandparents.
My parents are Ken and Connie Campbell, and my grandparents are Max and Marguerite Hughes, and Earl Campbell here in Troy also.
Okay, so you're a hometown girl, and you're, when you graduated from Pike Liberal Arts, you went to Troy University?
I did. I
Okay.
received my bachelor's and my master's from Troy University. I have a degree in English, and then went back to get the education added to that through an alternative route, and then on to get my instructional leadership degree from there.
Well, let me go ahead and apologize for any grammatical error I make as I speak. And so I called Bernie Sullivan about an hour and a half ago and told him that you were going to be on the show, and he's the mayor of Brantley, and he said, "You watch your language." And he said, "You better make sure you enunciate or pronounce your words correctly, or she'll correct you." But anyway, so when you graduated from Troy University, where did you do your internship, or how did you get it? Well, first of all, why education?
Well,
Why English?
education sort of found me. Like I said, I finished my degree in English, went to law school. When I got there, law just wasn't for me. And so I left law school and found a position in the middle of the year of teaching, and fell in love with it, and I've been doing it ever since. So
Was that at Brantley? Or
No,
where
it was
it?
not. My first position in the middle of the year, I took over at Dixie Academy. It's closed
Okay.
now, just to finish out the year in Louisville.
In Louisville. Mhm.
And then I went to Florida and taught in Milton, Florida for a little while. And when I returned to Alabama, I went to Brantley High School and loved it at Brantley. The commute got to be a little long, so I went to Goshen after that, and then to Charles Henderson, and then pursued my administration degree and went to Enterprise High School after that.
Okay. And then you were named the principal this summer. Was that in June that you, or July?
I started 2 weeks ago
2
at
weeks
Brantley.
ago. So you've hit the ground running, I'm sure.
A lot to do in July.
So anyway, and talk about Brantley for just a minute. When does school start for the teachers, and when does it start for the students?
Our teachers will come back August 4th. We'll have our institute that day. We have an open house on August 5th, and then we'll be ready to roll students on campus August 10th.
August 10th. Now, when you say in service, do all the faculties of Highland Home, Luverne High School, it's Highland Home School,
Right.
isn't that correct? It's Luverne High and Brantley High School, or Brantley School.
Brantley School.
Brantley School.
We're
Do
K
y'all
through 12.
meet all together as one unit, and where is that normally held? with
We
that
do.
size?
We meet at Luverne High School for our in-service day, and we work closely together. I've developed relationships with other principals fairly quickly. We're constantly back and forth, having conversations, trying to help one another. It is a whole district.
And who's the superintendent of Crenshaw County Schools now?
Dodd Hawthorne is the superintendent. He does a great job over there.
Well, I went to Luverne Elementary my first 2 years. We lived between Goshen and Vidette, just inside the Crenshaw County line. We went to Luverne our first 2 years, and then we lived so close to Goshen at that time, we could go to school at Goshen, and so that's where I finished. But I have a lot of love for Crenshaw County schools and a lot of respect, especially for Brantley, because they're so close-knit. I mean, they're that community, and I've got several fraternity brothers from Brantley, but that community, the support in athletics, academics, it's a clean-looking school, the community, and I know you have landed in a gold mine.
It
I
is,
know
and
you're tickled to-
that's a lot of what drew me to Brantley is that community support. I mean, they bleed green in Brantley, and it's a wonderful environment to be in, and that's a lot of why I wanted to be there.
Well, let me ask you this. When you got into since you're an educator, some of the most influential teachers that you had, elementary or middle, high school level, or administrators, who stands out that you had exposure to?
Well, I'll tell you, probably the most influential teacher that I was exposed to is my mother. She taught me 7th through 9th grade. She was passionate about teaching. She loved it. I was trying to fill positions. She said, "Well, I might go back into education." She loves everything about education. But I think that was a huge influence on me growing up. It's just watching her teach and be so passionate about it.
What did she teach?
She taught reading. She taught elementary, and then she sort of focused her career in literature and that junior high reading component.
Okay. Were you active in what kind of activities were you involved in high school?
Well, I am not athletic at all.
Okay.
But I did always have a passion for leadership. I was in the SGA president, class officers, president of the Honor Society. So I stayed very busy, but no athletic ability.
Now, were you involved in SGA at college, at Troy University, or?
I did not. I was in the Greek system there. I was Phi Mu at Troy University, and that sort of took up my time.
Well, one thing about Phi Mu, our daughter Abby Lee is a Phi Mu, and I've got a little hobby. I do little woodworking stuff, and this is a magnet that you can stick on your refrigerator, the Phi Mu magnet. And I would like to give you also, I make I get the flags from Walmart, but I make a little stand for it. But I'd like for you to have one for your desk.
Well, thank you.
And I want you to give one to your son. You have a son.
I do.
And he's what?
He's 8.
He'll
Campbell.
be second or third grader?
He'll be going into the 3rd grade next year.
There's one for him, and give one to Coach Moore to put on his desk down in Goshen.
Well, thank you.
So there's a little gift for being on the show. A little bit more about Brantley. The athletic programs are
We
very
take a
good.
lot of pride in our athletic
Very
programs
good.
at Brantley.
And, if we can, of course, I know football has been very successful. Baseball's been very successful. Basketball, girls softball, and
very strong.
And if we can flash the volleyball schedule on there and the football schedule just for a second. This is the upcoming volleyball schedule. You'll play at home the 19th. Well, let's go to football first. Oh, here's volleyball. Out on the 19th, the volleyball, you will play home against Kinston. That's a junior high, JV, and a
Junior varsity and varsity.
Okay, so there's 3 different matches that particular.
Yes, sir.
And then on the 29th, you play away again in the Kinston tournament. But your first game or first match is August the 19th, and that's right around the corner. So actually, volleyball starts off the athletic season. And I know you see some other teams you play locally, Pleasant Home, Goshen, Ayrton. So there's the schedule for Brantley High School. If we'll go to football, you'll open up away at GW Long, then away at Luverne.
It's a big game for us.
Big game. Then Kinston at home, McKenzie, Pleasant home, Highland home, Sampson, Georgiana, Red Level, Florella. And the last game will be a home game versus Charles Henderson of Troy. And
Yes, sir.
They were supposed to play last year, but COVID knocked that out. If you go back to the football schedule real quick, Mrs. Do we know which one is homecoming? Is the
Homecoming will be October 29th. No, I'm sorry, October 29th, senior night. October 1st is homecoming.
October the 1st against Sampson will be homecoming. So mark your calendars, all you Bulldogs alumni. And on the 29th of October, senior night will be the night you play
And that's the
Charles
children's
Henderson.
game.
So there we go. And a little bit more. Now you have a band,
We do.
and do you,
They've been practicing all week. They've had their, last week, they've had their camp, and they're getting prepared. They're going to be putting a good show this year.
Well, I was going to ask you now. She's just new. Who is the band director? Can you remember that name offhand? Okay.
I wish I did.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I've
Well,
only
that's
been there
okay.
2 weeks.
All right, but the band, do you know how many members they have roughly?
I do not, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of them.
Good. That adds so much to football, and probably have a pep band for basketball. I'm not sure, but the band, and of course, your cheerleaders. You know, that's what it's all about, is all of them together. Because, you know, I've been in athletics a little bit, but the band and the band director, the cheerleader and the cheerleader sponsors and the football team, it's all like one big family. And that's what makes everything go.
It is, and one of the great things about Brantley is nearly all of our kids participate in something. They're very active on campus, a lot of leadership positions, and you know, so they're very involved.
Right. And let me ask you this too, and we've already mentioned that you have a FFA
We do.
program.
We have a very strong FFA program. They win a lot of awards. They're very competitive.
And are there any other unique things coming to Brantley High School that you had to incorporate as a mandate from the state? What's on the horizon that might be new this year for your teachers and students?
Well, one thing is we're going to be getting back to instead of new, we're going to be getting back to a lot of normal. We're hoping to, you know, in this post-COVID, you know, I know it's still an issue, but we're going to try to get back as close to normal as possible.
Yes, ma'am.
With our teachers, we're excited about the Teams program. We're going to be able to offer our math and science teachers some pretty big raises, so that's a great program for them. We're going to continue to offer dual enrollment. We have a great career tech program. We share that program with the district. Most of those programs, except for FFA and business courses, are offered on campus.
Mrs. Moore, excuse me, when you say career tech, do your students have to be bused
They are bused.
to Luverne for what kind of programs are offered there?
We offer health science programs. We offer, like I said, we offer the business programs and the agri-science programs on campus. We have several programs, and Miss Ashley Catrett's over that at the central office. She does a great job with it, and she's always looking at new things to bring to our
And
students.
your dual enrollment is located. Y'all do that through LBW.
We do.
That's in Luverne.
We do.
So that's, your students are bused there, and then they come
They
back
are,
to
and we're
your
going to be able
campus.
to offer math and science, anything in STEM-related fields, to those students free of charge this year. So that's something
Well,
we're
that's
really
wonderful.
excited about.
Well, anybody out there that's interested in education, I recommend that you go into science or mathematics because they just received
It's a
a
good
big
time for
raise.
it.
But, you know, I'll just throw this a little bit out. But make sure you're supposed to do what you do from 8 to 3. Be a teacher first and a coach second. But, you know, the math and the science field are very big in the state of Alabama, and that's the reason Governor Ivey has implemented a little bit more of a raise for those for those teachers. Are there any other issues, or not issues, are there any other new things coming from the state or anything that Crenshaw County has implemented for the students?
We're going to start ACT prep with our 7th grade students because we see that a lot of those standards are tested on that fall all the way back to 7th grade. So we're going to be putting in a 30-minute ACT prep block for our kids. So we're excited about that. We're going to be able to really prepare those students for that test because we know how important it is in predicting their college success. You know, we've just hired several intervention teachers. We're going to try to hit the ground running with trying to make up some of this time that we've lost with COVID and virtual learning. You know, so we've got a lot of new things in place. We're going to.
Well, Mrs. Moore,
That we're excited about.
Tell us again of when open house is for your parents.
Open house is going to be August the 5th. We will start with a orientation for all of our students, and then later in the evening we'll have a time for our 9th grade students only, just to kind of get them ready for high school and introduce them to some of the programs and all that we're able to offer. And all of that information is on our Brantley High School Facebook page. We've shared, you know, exact times and things like that for our parents.
Well, one thing I can remember when I was in high school, when we went to math tournaments, and you could just about forget it because Brantley was going to roll in there. And Miss Alinda Godwin was, Alinda Godwin Sanders Turner. But anyway, she was the math teacher at Brantley, and she was a phenomenal teacher, and she passed away a few years ago. But Brantley was so good academically that as well when I was in school, and I'm just Brantley is one of the schools at the top of my list. If I was going to move to an area, Brantley would be one of those schools that that's a good school.
We have incredibly strong teachers, and they are very passionate about what they do. They've been working all summer getting ready for these kids to come.
Well, Mrs. Moore, on more of a personal note, I was going to ask you, what are some of the hobbies that you like outside of the educational field? What are some things that you like doing?
Well, I sure wish I had time for hobbies, but my husband's a football coach, and my son plays every little league sport here in Troy, and he's going to be playing with the Goshen Mini Mites too. So we spend a lot of time at the ball field in my spare time.
Okay. Does he play baseball, your son?
He does. He plays
player
baseball,
too?
basketball. He plays it all.
But do you like to read or sew?
I do. I read a lot.
Okay. Well, listen, I do want to thank you for coming on the show, and I know you have a lot going on as the new principal at Brantley High School. I think Brantley, you hit the nail on the head with a hammer, and you did a great job with Ms. Moore. And I met you a long time ago, I think when Abby was in high school, but I want to wish you the best of luck, and your husband, Coach Moore in Goshen. And thank you for coming. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with our next guest is Mr. John Kennedy. He'll be our next guest. He's the principal owner of a new venue coming to Brundage, Alabama. It's called the Kennedy Lodging and Events Venue. He's also involved, he and his wife Vicki and his son Jake are involved in the Brundage Building LLC company. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Attention! Attention! PremierTroy.com. We want your trade. We'll buy your car. Whether you purchase a vehicle from us or not. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high. Trade your car for cash or a newer vehicle. It's your choice. Premier wants your car. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody!
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Where should you go to find the best deals on a vehicle? Anywhere, anytime? PremierTroy.com. Shop our huge selection. PremierTroy.com. Pick your next vehicle. Pick your payment. Yes. Shop, save, and buy. PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Brundage Building Supply and Paint Center at Jackson Hardware. 120 years and counting of real customer service with a smile and a heartfelt thank you for visiting with us. PPE, lumber, paint, building supply and roofing, guns, ammunition, American-made items, and oh, by the way, hardware.
Are you ready?
August 20th.
Welcome back to Good News and Interviews with Forrest Lee. Our next guest is Mr. John Kennedy. He's the principal owner of a new venue in Brundage, Alabama called The Kennedy. It's a lodging and events venue. He and his wife, Vicki, and his son, Jake, also have a business called the Brundage Building LLC company. But welcome to the show, Mr. John.
Nice
Thank
to know
you for
you.
coming.
Yes,
and
sir.
how I found out about Mr. John, Donnie Mobley was, I think, at Jackson Hardware picking up some paint for the swimming pool at the Brundage Country Club that's going to be opening soon. And the pool is, the club's already open. But anyway, he mentioned your name. He said, give him a call. I've got his phone number. And so I did, but I'd like to welcome you to the show. First of all, what I'd like to ask you, Mr. John, where's your hometown and your high school?
Well, I was born in North Alabama, Limestone County, a little town called Athens.
Okay.
And my folks moved to Florida when I was 11 months old, so I was pretty much raised in Florida and vacationed in Alabama, there in Athens, and then head west from here to a little town called Thomasville, Clark County.
Okay.
So that's
How
where my
about that?
mother's folks are from, and my dad's folks, the Kennedys, are from Athens area.
Now, your mother's maiden name is?
Sheehan.
Sheehan.
Mhm.
Okay. So then when you went to Florida, what high school did you attend there?
King High School.
King High School.
In
What
Tampa.
county? In Tampa. What county is that?
That's Hillsborough County.
And they have 67 counties in Florida. Alabama has 67 counties.
I didn't realize that.
And in my spare time, when I was teaching, I had about an hour for lunch, and I tried to memorize all the Florida counties. I'd probably get maybe 20 now, but that was just something to do. But anyway, so when you graduated from King High School,
Correct.
you went to college,
Went to Troy State.
went to Troy University, and you were on the football team for 1 year.
I was a walk-on on the football team when Coach Bradshaw came from Kentucky his
Charlie.
first year here.
Charlie Bradshaw, remember him well, I took a class under him. And he played for the Bear at Kentucky. Now, what position did you come to?
I played at outside linebacker.
Outside linebacker. And so you did that 1 year and
Right,
decided you would head back south.
right. I realized when the full scholarship guys weren't getting any playing time that it was going to be a long road to hoe. And I headed back to Tampa and went to school at University of South Florida there in Tampa.
Okay. What did you major in? What was your degree?
Marketing.
Marketing.
Mhm.
Okay. So when you graduated from there, what was the next step? What was the...
Well, prior to graduating, I started my first business, which is still going on today. It's a company called Florida Flag and Pennant. It's an outdoor advertising company. We do big flagpoles at car dealerships.
Okay.
Decorate the Navy battleships all over the world today still.
Wow.
And with the bunting and the big American flags, that's what we do. And I guess it's been about 45 days ago, sold the business to my oldest son, Terry.
Okay.
So it's 42 years in existence, our business there.
Well, good. All right, let's talk about family. Now, your wife is
Vicki
Vicki. Now, what's her maiden name?
Cook. Vicki Cook is her maiden
And
name.
she's from Thomas.
No,
where's she?
Vicki's from Lakeland, born in Lakeland, raised a true Floridian.
Okay.
About 3 generations back, all our families from Florida. Some of them, though, past that lineage is from Dothan, Alabama.
Okay.
Schofield was the name that were in Dothan.
There's a lot of Schofields in this, or some Schofields in this area around Glenwood and Henderson. And all right. So your children?
We have 4 children, oldest being Terry. He owns the flag store now.
Okay.
And then our next one in line is Jesse. And Jessica is married and has one child, Stella, our granddaughter.
How old's Stella?
Stella is 4 now.
Good.
And
Stella.
Terry, yeah, Terry.
I had to say that.
Yeah, that's a great name.
Stella. I love it.
Yeah, she's a beautiful thing. And our oldest son, Terry, and his wife, Danielle, have 4 children, 3 girls and a little boy.
Okay.
And then the next one is Nicholas. He's married and has 2 little girls. And then our youngest is Jake, and he's freshly married and to a beautiful girl named Caroline, and they live in New York.
So your oldest son lives in Florida. And your daughter lives in what?
Florida,
Florida.
Tampa, and the next one, Nicholas, in Tampa.
And the baby boy lives
He lives in New York.
New York City. Okay. And then, okay, so when you did that, you started a business when you were in college.
Right.
So after you graduated, what was the next?
Well,
phase?
I had the flag business going when I came from Troy back home. My dad had a little used car lot that he raised us from the proceeds of, and he thought the flag and banner and pennant business would be a good endeavor to take up in my time while I went to USF as a job I could do and work at my schedule. And when I finished school, I had a laundry list of clients that still buy from us today. And so I was very fortunate in that I never had to apply for a job. I had my own job from the very beginning.
And so you did that that was your full time?
Correct.
So when did you decide to move from Florida to Brundage or Banks or this area? How long?
We've been coming here for about 35 years hunting. Hunting kind of brought us to the area too, other than me going to school here. And all my recreation has been in Alabama. The wildlife here is just incredible. We all love to fish and hunt our family, so it's brought us back to Alabama.
Is that Pike County and
Pike County
Barber,
mostly?
Pike and
Right, Pike County, and then we bought a farm in Banks off of Highway 130 in '05.
Okay.
And getting to spend more time up here, and we still reside between the states. In the summer months, customarily, we're at the beach in Indian Shores, which is in between St. Pete and Clearwater.
Okay.
And then here in the winter months for the hunting. And but we got interested in Brundage and doing some things in there.
Well, speaking of Brundage, let's talk, if we can, Nate, let's go ahead and hit the venue. It's called the Kennedy.
Yes.
And this is part of it here. Now, what is this like?
That's the little cottage out back.
Okay.
That is additional sleeping. It's been there a long time. It's very rustic inside with open wood ceilings, and has a little kitchenette and shower and bathroom facility in the back side of it. Kind of additional space to the main structure.
How many can sleep in that particular area?
We have, I think, let's see, 2, 4, 6 folks can sleep in the cottage.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the next. Is this part of the cottage? Or?
No, you're in the Kennedy now.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
I don't know the order that you have it in there, but that's one of 3 bathrooms. The Kennedy's totally restored. It's a 1900s Victorian house at 135 S.A. Graham.
Oh,
that is one of our feature bedrooms.
Beautiful.
13.5-foot ceilings, all original fireplaces and handmade tiles, wrought iron surrounds, and gas burner stoves.
If we can go back to that previous picture with the fireplace, is that gas logs? And you still
all
have...
gas logs. There's
all
5 working fireplaces
Okay.
in the lodge.
Okay. And this particular building is 1900s?
1900, right?
1900s? Mm-hmm. Okay. You can go to the next one. That's a
You're back to the cottage there.
We're back to the cottage.
And that scene, there's some single beds there. You're back in another bedroom there in the Kennedy. It has heart pine floors. In some of the bedrooms, there's not even a joint in the floors. Full 16-foot long boards. Huge spandrel in the front. Big everything.
Now, where did you get your furniture?
This is a Lexington Oaks mahogany king bedroom furniture there. That's right from Lexington,
Okay.
North Carolina.
That's
our big grand dining room. It sleeps 10 there at the table, and then there's 2 additional tables, 2 other additional tables. Will sit 4 each. So we have, I guess, a total of 18 can eat there together in our dining room.
Yes, sir.
Also a fireplace behind the table there. Also gas logs. Very elegant place.
So, if a company, I know you can do weddings, you can do receptions, you can do, say, a family from Florida, for example, can come up, and aunts and uncles and grandparents can stay there then they can go tailgate there. You got a back porch. We're going to see that maybe in a minute. Then they can load up and come to the Troy football game, baseball game, basketball, whatever.
Right.
But the family can stay in this venue rather than stay in about 4 or 5 motels scattered throughout Troy. You're all in one place. It's 10 minutes from Troy. Boom, you're here.
Correct. It's quite a space there. It has a big fenced-in backyard with a fire pit, a huge back deck, a wraparound veranda, just multiple seating options there for conversation. I believe 15 to 16 folks can stay there at one time and be very comfortable. The structure is totally renovated from new roof to all new mechanical, electricals throughout, all new plumbing, 3 new bathrooms, new kitchen, all the wood work that is original. So we're putting in our application to the Historic Society to become a historical structure.
Yes,
we have a koi pond in the front with a waterfall and fish. And
was that built? Was that already there?
The pond, the original pond, has been there 80-something years plus. And we added to it.
There.
That's the back deck, overlooking the backyard and the fire pit in the back. All kind of parking. What I feel like is when the athletic department, the team members learn about the venue, somebody's family will take it probably every year for home games and have the place to go to.
All right, now call the athletic director at each of the schools that are coming to Troy.
There you
and
go.
let their coaches and the coaches' wives know, hey, here's what is 10 miles down the road.
Right.
And usually they'll Winnebago or van together.
Right.
But that would be
a good thing.
The families from other schools, if they find out about this too.
Right, and even for Troy, it'd be nice to have some Troy football players have their families and all their relatives come and stay there and be right here close to watch the game.
Nate, if we can, go back to some of those slides. One of the bathrooms I saw looked like you can just walk into it. So if you have
ADA. It is ADA. It's a curbless shower. You can roll your wheelchair right in there. We've said it has a wheelchair ramp right there. That's a super nice bathroom, and we're trying to accommodate everybody, and it's going to be a beautiful place to come and stay.
Now that's a beautiful room there.
We call that the wood room. We had one room in the house that we wanted to kind of have rustic to some degree and to showcase the heart pine walls, and so we have some of it lightly stained and some of it in natural, just clear coated. Really came off nice. A lot of people have that as their favorite room. I'm more of the one that likes the ornate ones in the front with the fireplaces in the room and so forth.
Let's go to the next one. Let's say this is outdoors.
This is the east veranda. We just had the first ever Pike County Chamber of Commerce after hours gathering in Brundage. Never been in Brundage before. We had that last Thursday night. Had a big showing of support from a lot of people from Troy, and
that's where the Pike County Chamber of Commerce
had their social event called After Hours. We hope to have those there other times, and it would be a great corporate event space as well, or a retreat. Women have a lot of, and men have a lot of Christian retreats. Be a prime place to have it.
And it would have got places for people to sleep, eat, comfortable place to have whatever you have planned.
Sure. Well, in small weddings, you could stay there. You could, if your grandma and granddad come for the wedding, rather than having to stay in a hotel, there's room for people to stay in the venue. There's a grand hall that would make a great runway and altar spot that would, it's 40 feet long, be a great approach to the altar.
Talking about weddings, say if the bridal and her attendants, say 10
sure.
or more.
Yes.
That'd be a nice place for them to spend the night.
Sure, be ready.
And have their makeup put on. If you're getting married in Brundage or even, if you even in Troy, I don't know if there's a place in Troy unless you do it at somebody's home. And then the hairstylist can just come there. You just wake up, and here's your brunch. Get made up, load up in the limousine. Let's go.
Right. Have a church wedding, have the reception there. There's a lot of different combinations of things that would work very good for any type of wedding. The little cottage in the back can make a prime place for the groomsmen to stay away from the bride and have their own little space prior to the wedding. It just really just lends itself to that. And when you see the grand hall there that's 12 feet wide and 40 feet long with a big wood hand-carved spandrel and chandelier from France from the 1860s and all kind of other chandeliers and nice furnishings. It just is a beautiful, elegant place.
Hey, Nate, if you could go to that little logo that they had, we didn't get a number right there, the Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's a number or website that we can go to?
It's on the back if you want to read it there.
It's called, you can contact Tiffany Love, and we'll get this on there. Tiffany Love at 334, of course. Her number is 304-2430. 304-2430, or you can log in to the KennedyAlabama.com. That's pretty easy. The KennedyAlabama.com. There's the website, your contact information. It'll have pictures on there, directions, and that's I never knew it existed.
Right. Well, we've had a lot of folks from Troy tour the premises there and tell us, John and Vicki, there is no offering like this anywhere around here. And the old historical value of that house has been so well taken care of for so long, and we're just the new custodians of the Lord's creation in this pretty place, and it's quite a thing to see.
Now, what street is that on?
The address is 135 S.A. Graham, which is same as Highway 10.
Okay.
231, the light there at Hardee's, you turn left, head east, and is there on the right. It's the last dwelling on the right before you get to the downtown.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yep.
I really do. Does Mike Robinson live close by in there?
I don't know Mike Robinson.
I think he has a Jeep. World War II Jeep.
I don't
he lives
know.
somewhere right in there. I'm not real sure. Of course, I grew up in Goshen, but I'm a little bit familiar with, I know what Crows is, that's for sure. Now,
Crows brought some of the chicken for the event. It was very good, and various other, Monarca's Restaurant was one of the caterers to our last event. Publix did a lot for us as well. They're, from what I gather, a very big supporter of the chamber and quite nice to us.
Well, Mr. John, what about, this is John Kennedy, and some of the restoration projects you've got coming along in Brundage, and some of the restaurants that are coming to Brundage. Can you elaborate on that for us?
Sure. We have approximately 30,000 square feet of buildings. I don't remember exactly. It seems like it's 10 or 11 different entities of buildings there. And we have been under this restoration for about 2.5 years. And we have 7 new businesses that have already taken the spaces. As soon as we get them ready, someone comes and inquires about it, and we have a new business in Brundage. Brundage is on the move.
What are some of those businesses?
I have a list of them here that I didn't want to forget anybody. One of the headliners for Brundage is Monarca's. Monarca's is coming to Brundage.
That's right.
Monarca's will be also, of course, where they've been for the past 15 years on the north end of Troy, but now they have the south end of the area covered, in that they're going to be at, I believe their address will be 118 Main Street. I believe right. 116 Main Street.
So when you go to the red light, will you take a left like you're going to Crows, or will you take a right? Like
You'll turn right. You'll turn right. And it was formerly, the building was built about 1900. built by the Bass family.
Okay.
They were instrumental in a lot of the development there in Brundage and surrounding areas. The Bass family built that big 2-story brick building, had mercantile on the bottom floor and retail, and then they had a center lane, a center door going up staircase to the upstairs, which was none other than the Brundage Opera House. And most people don't know that Brundage had an opera house and replete with 32 7-foot windows around it to keep them cool without the air in the early 1900s.
Now, will they be using that space, you think?
No, the upstairs space, I'll have an office there.
Okay.
Our son, Vic and our son, Jake, will have an office there. And we're going to have a different route on that one, which hasn't been announced yet for the upstairs. Monarcas, and Martin is the owner of Monarcas. He'll have the bottom right side, and my wife will have an art glass studio on the left side.
So she's an artist?
She does glass art, jewelry, and custom plates, and vases, and various other quandaries, which she's anxious to get started on once we complete these renovation projects.
That's good. That's
the name of her outfit is Starlight Glass Art Studios.
Okay.
And then we have Island Girl Cafe is already in business in one of our brick buildings on S.A. Graham.
That's on the right before you get to the red light.
Before you get to the light. Kathy Embellished Cakes is new to Brundage as well. And
did you bring a sample?
I'm going to tell you what, if you ever eat her cakes, you won't want any other.
Okay.
You can't walk by one of her cakes without getting a bite.
Okay.
And she makes a lot of custom cakes.
What's that name again?
Kathy's Embellished Cakes.
Kathy's Embellished Cakes. Okay.
And then on the next retail space in that same brick building, which is called the Big Brick, we have Unicorn Body Sculpting. So you and I might get in shape with that, where we can get back in our 34s.
Oh, okay. So
you wear 34s, don't you?
Yeah. One day I did. So fitness.
Body sculpting.
Okay.
They do the body wraps and trim you up.
Okay. Are they open at 8 o'clock at night?
I don't know about that. But then we were fortunate to have Lee's Refrigeration do all our new HVAC in all our buildings. I don't know how many tons of AC that he's put in and how many feet of duct, but it's a lot. He's been working on it, and he's taken one of our brick warehouses for his warehouse and space. So
is he based out of Brundage?
He is,
okay.
Yes. Lee's Refrigeration does a great job.
What's his first name?
Lee.
Oh, Lee? Okay,
yeah, Lee's Refrigeration. Okay. And he just does a swell job, and so we're really excited about Brundage. Brundage is being rediscovered. There is, in the last 2 years, there has been a multitude of buildings being sold and leased. Businesses of all sorts and sizes are starting to recognize the opportunity in Brundage. And we want you to come look at Brundage. There's a lot of opportunity there. It's 1 mile off 231. And it's going to be a thriving little city as time goes on. It's really been encouraging there to see, in the little time we've been there, at what growth has transpired.
Do we have a projected date when Monarcas may open?
Monarcas hadn't given us an official date. I'm going to say the end of the year. Okay. He'll probably be ready thereabouts. He's made a lot of progress on the inside, getting his kitchen ready, and he's got all his equipment ordered. Some of it's coming in now, but it's going to be a real thing for us there, as well as other businesses that I'm not at liberty to announce are coming to Brundage that I know about that are going to be great for the community and things to do in Brundage.
Well, one thing that I know of, the Pike County Board of Education, they're about to build a new baseball, softball. Is track going to be included?
I'm not sure about that.
Baseball, softball complex there right near the campus, and that is going to be so good for not only the high school, but the recreational program and the ability it will have to flourish. That's very exciting. And, like you said, it's exciting to know that Brundage is coming back
It is.
And it was going strong. Then it kind of idled, but now.
Well, the
it's
thing
turned
with
the corner.
Brundage, a lot of those buildings have been in families for many, many years. For instance, the Main Street building there that was the Opera House and Mercantile Store and Hollis Furniture Store after that, and now the things that we're making, we're only the third owner of that building. And so there's been legacy buildings there in Brundage that were operated successfully for 100+ years, and just now are some of the original or second owners relinquishing ownership of them to newcomers to the area and new ideas in business.
Well, one thing I noticed, I went to visit Jackson Hardware, Mr. McDaniel's, and just to see that store from the inside and how it's been refurnished or upgraded, not necessarily upgraded, but I mean, the floors in there are just absolutely beautiful.
Oh, he has a fine place there.
It's a big old space, and they have a lot of things to offer that I really didn't know. I knew it was there.
Right.
And, of course, I've got my hair cut there right down the street years ago when there was, I don't know if there was still a barbershop there, but
there is a barbershop.
And I remember the Black family owned a store behind there. I know Brundage is well known for peanut butter and that kind of things, and athletics and chicken. Crow's Chicken is one of my favorite places to eat too. But,
well, arts and entertainment. I believe Brundage is going to be arts and entertainment. It's going to be things to do. It's going to be things to learn. And in today's marketplace, what people want is something unique. They want to come to a one-of-a-kind shop. They want to come and learn how to do something artistically, take dance lessons, take piano lessons, learn how to do glass art, eat at a family-owned restaurant. They want something that's not just a mainstream, not the same big block store. People are looking for something different.
Yeah. I know Lenny Trawick, he has a band, or there's a band that plays Friday nights there in downtown Brundage. And so you'll have a place to eat, a couple of places to choose to eat from, and then you can go dance it off or listen to music there. I don't know what venue it is, but it's down there in that little
that
area.
was Collier's, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They have had a little bit of a delay in reopening. I don't know exactly how that will transpire over time with that, but there's a lot of new stuff coming, and there is a lot of opportunity to buy buildings in Brundage and make them what you want. The price is such that you can afford to do the renovation and end up with a great building.
And a great city. Hey, one thing I'd like to give you is give you a couple of flag sets. I do a little bit of woodworking, and this is just basic cedar on bottom. And want to give you and your family a couple of these.
Thank you much.
Thank you for being on the show.
Sure.
And do you enjoy peanuts? Or
I like boiled peanuts.
Peanuts. I don't have any boiled peanuts, but I've got some honey roasted peanuts.
I eat those too. Those are
these are honey roasted peanuts, compliments of the Pike Farmers Co-op, located in Goshen and here in Brundage. But these aren't open, but I opened some salted ones earlier today, about 30 minutes before the show started.
Well, thank you.
But thank you, Mr. John Kennedy. I'd like to thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And would like to thank Casey Moore, the principal at Brantley High School, for being here. Next week's guest, I have Ashley Lewis. He's the owner of a used car lot there between Troy and Banks, a new young man who's about 25 years old. He'll be talking with us next week, along with, we're hoping to have Dee Allen, Abby K. Terry, and Kathy Stockstill. They were the 3 finalists for the Distinguished Young Women program this past weekend for Pike County. We're hoping to have them. And again, you can watch us, the replays Wednesday nights from 8 till 9 o'clock at night. You can watch us on Facebook, search TC2, Good News and Interviews. I want to thank you for coming, and we'll see you next week on Good News and Interviews with Forrest Lee. Thank you. very much.
Nice
Thank you
to
for
see
being
you,
here.
Forrest. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Yes.